If you're a yoga teacher trying to start your yoga teaching business and you're overwhelmed by a sea of opinions and advice on social media, people telling you to do that, others telling you, no, don't do that, that's the worst idea ever. I get it, it's overwhelming. So hopefully I can be a voice of reason and share my advice on the 4 stages of a yoga teaching business and what to focus on depending on which stage you are at. And I think this is an important conversation to have because when I graduated as a teacher, teaching looked very different. Social media was not what it was today. The teaching options were not what they are today. People didn't really have memberships. There weren't really programs. YouTube wasn't what it is today. It was just teach classes, workshops, or retreats. Simple. But today, I get it. There's so many options. Where do you focus your time? What do you do? So here are the 4 stages of a yoga teaching business and what I recommend you focus on at each stage. So to begin with, let's identify the type of teacher at each stage. So stage 1 is the teacher who is new to the business of teaching yoga, not new to teaching necessarily, because that's an important distinction to make. You can have years of teaching experience, but not really understand the business of teaching yoga because the skill sets are completely different. So stage 1 is someone who doesn't really have much of a community. You can also think of this as a customer base, doesn't have an offer that they're selling. Perhaps they're still stuck in this cycle of working for studios, trading time for money. Stage 2 is a teacher who is using social media. Perhaps they've built a little bit of a community. Perhaps they even have an offer that they're already selling, or they're at that point where they're starting to think about it. Stage 3 is someone who has existing offers that they're selling. They're very social media literate, and they're starting to think about how they can improve what they're doing, how they can build out an offer suite. Then stage 4 is a teacher who is starting to be more analytical and strategic in their thinking. So they're really starting to analyze what they're doing, what's working, and they're responding to that. They're also starting to be a little bit more considerate with their time and think ahead to the future so that what they put their time into is going to benefit them for the future. Basically, stage 4 is just about not being a busy fool. It's about building things for the future. So hopefully now you can identify yourself in one of those stages. If it's not clear, leave me a comment in the comment section and I'll help you identify which stage you are at. Then let's look at what you need to focus on at each stage. So stage 1, you really need to be focusing on your community because there is no point trying to jump to stage 2 where you're creating an offer if you've got no one to sell that to, if you've got no one that trusts you enough to want to buy from you. So that's why stage 1 is all about understanding social media, understanding how you can show up online in your own way, understanding what works online in 2026 because it's very different and social media is moving fast. And I know it might feel like the most saturated market ever, but I cannot tell you how important social media is for your business. It's free marketing for one. It is a free way to get access to your ideal students. It is a free way to build authority. It is a free way to reach people that you could never reach in person. Like my target audience is the US. Even though I'm based in the UK, I would never be able to reach people in the US unless I went on social media. So if you're ever questioning, what is the point in this? Just remember that. Stage 2, you really need to be thinking about your offer, what that's going to look like, what makes sense to you. Is it a membership? Does that make sense? Is it going to be a program? Is it going to be a series? Is it going to be a workshop? Is it going to be a retreat? What is it? The list is really endless. But it needs to be something that you feel confident to teach. It needs to be something that you have, an understanding of. You feel like you're an authority figure in that space to be able to approach that topic from a place of understanding and expertise. But most of all, it needs to be something that solves a problem. This is really specific to programs because a lot of people think, I'm going to create a program for, morning yoga. But what's the problem that that's solving? Like, it sounds like a nice idea. Who doesn't love morning yoga? But people will buy based on, a solution to a problem that they have. If you go and look at any of the programs that I sell, there is always a specific problem that I am targeting. because I know that is the thing that people are most likely to pay for. That's the process that people want to go through because they want to get to that solution at the end. If I just focused on nice ideas, there's no way my programs would sell the way they do now. So in phase 2, you really need to be focusing on what problems can I solve? What are the things that people keep asking me that might be a great opportunity for me to turn into a program, a membership, a retreat, whatever that may be. Then stage 3, you really need to be thinking about how can I create multiple streams of revenue? This is important for any yoga teacher because you want streams of revenue that are not reliant on you being there in person. For example, retreats, they're super intensive, there's so much work involved, and it's you needing to be there in person. So yes, you can make a lot of money teaching retreats, but how many retreats can you realistically teach each year? Probably not that many. Whereas if you put your time into creating something like a program or a membership that can generate you consistent income without you needing to be there in person, then that's a much smarter way to go. So in stage 3, you're thinking about how can I create an offer suite? How can I create offers that are like no-brainers for people? So if you ever go and have a look at all of my programs, they are designed in a way so that each program leads into the next and the next and the next, so that my cost per customer goes up, but also so that I can guide people through this process. Because I know if someone starts out learning headstand, they probably want to go and learn forearm stand after that, and then handstand after that. So I created programs that lead them through each of these 3 stages, and it feels like a no-brainer. It helps me build out an offer suite. It helps me sell to existing customers because it's much easier to sell to someone who already knows you and trusts you than it is to constantly be finding new customers. So that's stage 3. Then stage 4 is about being smart. You really need to analyze what you're doing, be looking at your sales pages, be looking at your social media, your ad strategy if you're running ads, to be able to optimize all of that. You're basically looking at any opportunities that you are not seeking out, making sure that you're not leaving any stone unturned. But then you also need to be thinking to the future. This is the stage that I found myself in the last few years, where I started to think, I get tired doing a lot of the physical teaching, as all teachers do. I didn't want to build a business that just revolved around that. This is why so many teachers go on to teach teachers, because that means that they then set themselves apart and they then go from B2C, so business to customer, to B2B, which is business to business, where they're no longer on the mat teaching classes, but they're now perhaps on the mat teaching postures. They're just partaking in a training where they also have help from other teachers who are doing their bit too. This then gives their career more longevity because they're not just relying on the physical, but they can also lean on different skill sets to make money. So that's stage 4. That's, one of the reasons why I'm doing this today, because I had so much to talk about when it comes to the business of teaching yoga, but I just didn't have an outlet to do that yet. That's why I created Yoga Teacher School. So that is the full 4 stages of a yoga teaching business. I hope that this gives you an idea of what you need to be focusing on. Hopefully it helps simplify things for you. If you do have any questions, please pop them in the comments section, and I'll see you for the next video.